to no so comme ça ha marhabi ATV zo yala yala saha yalma da ta zo ya lu atare ta saha wa wona ka su me yale ni no pam yala ban le la saha ba ta bogo shedan kan den garla mini ndwa to yara mi safri ba Assibit Akpeena da jangta pago ya kasan da persuma zama ne pam bol ma pam ka yel banda ji la jima afana sham so ko be nan bozo den nan pam ka ce ale la fi se tunda di biya zam shanga tunda di o jengma la ni la de ma albarka pam kaman afana pam kan jiro bol ma zang par polo kay ne lo sa ase kami sa flip line la kan di fi ka ce ti to ama draba nai ja tem palla al kol ha banda no al kol ba yezo wona tin sang la sang ti la ki ti ta fana ntar ku nyeshem za hambra so ka suyen yale to akama yin ka tia kana ma tin sang fila mangama zang o ka saha ama no kunun ka nya shi anye no bombu sham mbu shi pam tana nyo o ko bela mintin ba ka ti hula mintin ma ni na ti minoti ti fila ka ti dan ti ko da fana sa kam za ai ku bulu nyara ko nyi kuma aporo to kam za be fila kam za shara no za ai mala na an ka faro nyara ko aminu di ka ko ti afana ka wum ya sam pano zo nta ha zo wala ku yesham za ha tan kana tan ma sane ta ha tudu bolza ha dikama yara bisa Assibit Akpeena group chairman discovering groups of companies safiri na di so amarabi be ma yen ma maraba
okay
ka ta yin kan kana
amara
ngomna ne bitang wala la fu be to nta ya to kan ba puma kusal kan puma ni shamba nang ba ni to so ko ta tran kana zo de tlan nyanya ta ni nya so za ha nang ba ni tini zo a chama zo to no ya defila so so nta te bon ti chang ti won mu lo kala me te to ko za za na ma mama ya be tu.
Looking for a venue for your wedding reception, conferences and retreats, outside catering, recreation? Look no further than Coconut Grove Beach Resort Hotel, located in Elmina. Coconut Grove Hotels, memories worth repeating.
I recommend GN Bank for you.
Another bank?
Yes, it is an old bank in a new clothing. Our own First National has taken a new look. It is now GN Bank. Charlie, tell me more. First National has acquired a universal banking license that enables it to engage in all banking transactions, domestic and foreign.
Wow, this is good.
First National, now GN Bank, has the most effective domestic money transfer system called Tika Plus. It enables you to deposit and withdraw anywhere in Ghana, so nobody can rob you of your money. With only 50 Ghana pesos, you can also open the Wadachi account and save 50 pesos every day and begin to enjoy interest on your money. For more information on GN Bank, call 030-221-8855. GN Bank, still the people's bank.
To marhabi ha na zanci kalan nan to chama marhabi ATV zo yala yala nta ta mina la pala al kawle yiti mina la pala al kawle to mo na gwa na atlayen tin kana ayimo tin zan to a biazin kon bi afan shala za amala ka tule za hadin nan banyine ka ce tun da pala al kawle shi ma da bon ta palle me bon ta zan pi kala pam na titila sa na titila wala chale ta kana ka titila fi da mu ya pam ton ta ko shirin da ka ranya na ban ko fi da shale la fi da mara nan ya su pam ka ta to na hale ka le ko yen na boso da ban venya na ko na ka tla ko titile la ma toy ko ni ka se do za tirda ti bira zan na share zan ban ra shirin ya la yi tudu za har nan ban ni lokati yen nan kan le kam sun karbiti tini kan ko nan za ka sa kam za ka bu yar la zawa la ka bu yara tin chantu sha amira yala ni da amira yala ne ta mucai ta la ta wala banyama dikan na tu ni ko mi da bole kai ni bo bang an sha ma sa ma la gas ma rawo tu yele bin yala zan to amma ban da mun ka bang ma bra bang ya ka bon no da sun za hakana lang ba ka san da tu ka ara yalla la ne sim sin ta lang ba ne ai bon ne kana ki za lang ba da bin yar ba kun ya ne ko ni ko ne sim si za lang so bla ka tiyen ara yalla lang ba lang yetro kan northern Ghana be tu zahan nan banyine kala chantu mira mi bona lan jeli tu shal anna bi anyen nan sham mbola ataba bi ankar shaba le ko ni kiza hal an la ba ma lan ko ma na ka tu ne chan ma kan taba
Andre abi
na
ne sohel sulu pompon ka yayi to silmesle zancham te le tuma shama biane pum di dabani di nyala bewa zilema be mole dabani dimma be zawum di dabani jala ama de kana shama biane kama zabasi kasuna nema sesala nema ni shama biane pum de la mole dabani yeto ama so inyi yer dabani mole dabani sama konko ngumda
ami yel lang ba
ama men yer shal men bon yel yeto ashalma
naam
so kam wonjiri nof ka be nof ka be shepolo kam disemsine wumle ka understand yer le sham
naam
so ne so sulu ka le yelle silmins to surat ka so kam wum ka understand
to
den bo ne mambar ni
yel
yel
sham ta den sol ngi kace zamatu no suya hayelle simisle ni jala kati aku zama gamar la ko en ka zahati alfani
good I want to take it from my message during our last meeting here in my house. And if I can recall, I stated and I will state that the North is not backward and the Northerners are not behind in any way. And I also stated that the North is never a problem, and if there is any opportunity or solution to this country, the North is one of it, if not the forerunner, in all aspects of our country and our national systems. I mentioned areas of politics, economy, or social, and even culture. I can tell you with honesty that even if you come to the public systems, those who administer the systems have Northerners leading and interlinking and inter-supporting in various aspects of the system. The North, as I said, and I'll repeat, is involved in all aspects of the country, and it has been the forerunner in terms of human resource in the national development process. And I can tell you with honesty and with sincerity that Northern Ghana is never a problem. It is obviously an opportunity. And I will never and cannot sit and listen and be part of a speculation that Northern Ghana is backward, or the people of the North are not progressing. No. I'll tell you again that the endowments we have down south, the North is differently endowed. You don't expect two different geographical locations to host the same type of natural resources, because nature, I repeat, is differently distributed. And if you go to, say, Israel, as small as the country is, you have almost all the well vegetations and the well climatic situations in it. So the distributions of nature is vastly dynamic. And so what we have in Asante region, we may have something different in Upper East. So if we don't try to pursue taking economic use of what is in Upper East and want to see what we have in Asante region, there we will say Upper East is not endowed. But hey, even the sun that we have more there is obviously an opportunity. Because if there is a priority to invest on solar, then Upper East will contribute to leveraging the country from its power crisis through the nature of sunshine. Government would have benefited from God. I told you the last time about a community like Bongo, which is said to be the poorest or one of the poorest in the country.
No.
It is not exactly the case. It may be poor agrarian wise. They may not have enough agricultural land and therefore arable land for agribusiness. But they may have some minerals, just as I told you about limestone and several others, that when the initiative is taken and investment is injected, it will be a huge opportunity to both the people and the country. You all know about the Seni iron. The Bupe limestone is just a little exploit, and there are several others across the northern zone. We do know the onshore oil reserves in the western part of the Upper East region, coming through to the Yagba-Kuboro corridor of the northern region. And we do understand that right from even the research findings of the Germans well before independence till several subsequent findings, it is huge and it is likely to be much more bigger and quality than the onshore oil we are currently benefiting from.
The western region.
Well, the western region and some endowed, sitting and ready to take off from the Volta region.
Yeah.
So technically, the north has same natural opportunities endowed for development. Human resource, as I kept saying again and again, if you take top 10 academics, and if I say an academic, I'm talking about people in the academia, people in the cycles of academic works, lecturers in the universities and the research institutions. Take 10, top 10. If you are not careful, as less populated and small as the three northern regions by way of population is, more than 5 of the 10 will be northerners. Go to even the business world. Now, we don't want to mention names, but if you are following the trend of business, if you take the top 10 business people aggressive in creating wealth in this country, you end up getting 5 or more being northerners anyway. If you come back to politics and you take the top 10 people with history of presence, contribution, and all aspects of political process involvement, if you take top 10 ranking ones, if you don't take time, 5 will still be northerners. So why do you think that the northerners are backward and under empowered, or the northerners are less privileged? No, we have a problem. And that problem, I would want to address it from 3 angles. The first problem is the way first northerners see the north, and for that matter, the northerners sees himself. that problem goes further to cause the reason why others see the north. And for that matter, how others see the north now. And it is just in the same shape with how the difference between the Western world and Africa is. The way the African see Africa and sees himself an African, he gives opportunity to the Westerner and the European or American or other parts of the West, including the Asians who have contemporarily taken over the world anyway. They see us the way we present ourselves. And that is how probably the rest of the country see the Northerners and the North, because of the way we present ourselves. Otherwise, you won't see the Northern girl who leaves the father and mother from the farm with a house, at least with the possibilities of getting 2 or at least 3 square meals a day, and sleeping under a shelter, leave the North and move into Accra on the claims that he's coming to make money when he has to come and sleep in the gutters of Agbogblosi, exposing herself to the dangers of all kinds of insects, reptiles, animals, and even bad people. I will tell you with honesty that first aspect of the problem with the North is what I've just said. The way the Northerner presents and sees himself and the North is the way the world, and for that matter, Ghanaians see the North. And that way doesn't give a good social market or promotional package for the North. And therefore, nobody is daring to invest in the North. And when you have resources and there's no investment, that resources cannot turn to economic contribution or economic development element. That is one. I was addressing the issues 1 to 3. So that's the first one. Now, when you come to the second part, the second part of it is that the history of the country was written without the North. Unfortunately, the history of Ghana was written without Northern Ghana, to an extent where the people who particularly made this history presumed and pre-concluded that the North is just one small community, as the West also sees Africa. So it is that somebody will be in America and ask, you are from Africa. I have Bayo from Lagos, do you know him? Just as somebody in Accra will ask you, Philip, you said you are from Northern Ghana. I have Alaji Fatau in Tamale, do you know him? Because the history didn't present clearly the vast nature, the dynamic nature, the cosmopolitan nature of Northern Ghana, it makes people lose grips of really what is made up of the North. People even fail to understand the vast nature of it from the map of Ghana. So when they mention Bumpugu Yoyo or Sabuba Kreponi or Hamele, people just hear it, but they don't know that, in fact, the distance between Sabuba Kreponi and Hamele is more than the distance between Tamale and Kumasi. So that history has to be rewritten, and probably has to be rewritten by a Northerner who understands the North. And you know, the history must touch all aspects of the country. When the history was written in the past about Ghana, it was written concentratedly on southern Ghana, emphasizing on cocoa and gold, and some little part of diamond and other related southern minerals, and maybe timber. Sorry, timber came out of my mouth, but Ghanaians must know with honesty that most of the timber we now use in Ghana, freshly cut, is coming from northern Ghana. It is coming from the Bole Bamboy, the Bui Bole Bamboy corridor. I don't want to go to the politics of geography and geographic demarcations of regions, but we do know the history has Bui into northern region. So that corridor now hosts the biggest endowment of even timber. And if we do care to know, 99.9% of yams we eat in this country are not from the forest zone. They are not from the mineral zone. They are particularly from, major of it comes from the eastern corridor of northern region. From Karaga, Gusegu, coming to the most concentrated areas of Bimbila and its environs. We equally have a bit of it coming from the western part of the Damango, Busunu, Bole, Bamboy. And even in those areas, they do so much more cassava than any region of the country. Yet we don't see and know, because we follow the history from book, which emphasize traditional agricultural products. We have the best environment for livestock. We have the best environment for irrigation activities. And if priority was given, then we would have taken over everything Burkinabes make from Ghana, importing from them. In other words, they exporting into Ghana onions, garden eggs, tomatoes, livestock, and I mean cattle, sheep, goat, everything. It would interest you to realize, even in my house here, you don't easily get a goat to buy unless I go buy it from B2. Anytime I go up north, I buy it from B2 and send it to Accra for them to use. Because it's cheaper and bigger. So that element of the history rewriting is very critical. And that history will itemize and outline the natural resource endowments along the northern capacities that can exploit and develop those endowments. The third part, which I will have to summarize before you move, is the politics around northern development. The politics around northern development is hugely inward. It's hugely class-centered and hugely theory-centered. It's not directly linked to the realities on the ground. You would see a northern development-related project develop armchair from Accra by a team who have never actually seen and understood the realities on the ground and the basic things that people need to move on. If you go to Galimi, which is in Niger, and we have a worse off geographic and climatic situation against northern Ghana. The onions we buy cheaper from them is produced from boreholes. So technically, a prioritized program said to drill boreholes for households in northern Ghana. It's a huge poverty elevation program. And that program could mechanize the boreholes into solar. So instead of, say, rural electrification, which is pre-packed, mass-produced, invested by government for even villages, then that rural electrification can center onto boreholes, which the people will use, one, to improve their potable water situation, and then also use it as commercial for rearing cattle, sheep and goat, poultry, in other words, all kinds of livestock, and also producing vegetables. All that improves their feeding and also improves their economic lives. So that aspect of the misplacement of northern development projects is the third problem with northern development. Yes.
Njara nyasmu za hana wena kolera yala sahambo mene Mr. Flip Assibit Akpeena jitu monente ha ba ko shere ngami no ndara ba so katlan bon zan la habra suma tantin kaswe yele won yema ko fomen ka ngoro den ya ko sala ka trijiro mo bi dag bal ka tiyan ta de nyara ni pam banyangum ba amadin ye shemne sma so kam za hana ngum bam commencer ka ja lehra yala saha ka dag bon kon de ba fa na ngum de mi comment se vous de mi ay beno hu ka ci ale ATV bi lo rakam sa hana dunya sa hana bani na zo de nan afan pam ka je to ashiro nyama dira din nan su kam sa afan ka ci afan pam nyira de bi to afu ka sam sun za hazan le zan ka ta hapu ne ni ko nan ka ta habu nan bani ne to ntigo nti tutu za ha nan bani na zo ti chang tim kom kalama nyila gunyen bu ya to ashanga zan ba tin nan shaka to yal kala yala ma zan to jonte tin nan sham kala bi na sa de banka man le simpson tita habor le comme ça aujourd'hui chang defu comme yala manda.
Looking for a venue for your wedding reception, conferences and retreats, outside catering, recreation? Look no further than Coconut Grove Beach Resort Hotel, located in Elmina. Coconut Grove Hotels, memories worth repeating.
I recommend GN Bank for you.
Another bank?
Yes, it is an old bank in a new clothing. Our own First National has taken a new look. It is now GN Bank.
Charlie, tell me more.
First National has acquired a universal banking license that enables it to engage in all banking transactions, domestic and foreign.
Wow, this is good.
First National, now GN Bank, has the most effective domestic money transfer system called Sika Plus. It enables you to deposit and withdraw anywhere in Ghana, so nobody can rob you of your money. With only 50 Ghana pesos, you can also open the Wadachi account and save 50 pesos every day and begin to enjoy interest on your money. For more information on GN Bank, call 030-221-8855. GN Bank, still the people's bank.
To nyasum za ha nan banyine ta hatla kan to da zama yala saha ta ha so da so ma da yala da so shi ne pam santima mu yi ma ka chale bisa flipo nyere to ashanga ma sa ay to an ma ka za hay ko yara in ko nan ka te tin nan sham kamal sham ka ba sham ka tudu chantul tin yana tudu wi chantu ye o yara ne tudu chantu mun din ma nyem kama bin yara shanga da sumsina tin nan ta bin nan da mazo me yalle ka kala yala ma zam ba bolle me da bata den ko nan ya to ashanga ko musati ka yale ti toa la basa buzan ko tabun yalla semesene history tempire shamsa ha nan bangine semesene tiza ha bantin shamsa mi tempire sham da bin shakam za da bin shakam za da be tuza ha nan bangine pala bin yara shanga ni pam ne mi zo da bunun bukata pam tamma ka ti la bin ka chani mi tim mi shamsa ha nan bangine ka chani ro ban kama ta biya sun tim ba biya wu biya ma tan le sha'ani le ti ka ti yara bani le tan yara wa ne cha dan ba parla din sha'ani le ti mun le shama amma lehra kala nyiti cha haran ku nyamza shamza ba nan wani so ti labte to atam ma sa ka ti pen yala ko ti le wo on kal yara shama tan mammi ti nan buho nyanya lakatin ka bin yara shanga za ha on kal kalma ka ti la nirma la ka ti la ni ka bo biaso inti zaha nangway ka chale ro ye to sa kan jale zang pa yiran yalla ban chan ban kanan karati she kaye to awiye ne so to yo chan ama me lalle le mala tuma kalan sen kan inti hada bashir o pire zahani ka tinyati na so Mr. Flip aya to apam mpo to man nyami lula ka tiyen na ka ban shakam za akala bia
Okay. Entre ya hamabe. Mampum pele silmen soa ne continue silmen. Zanja.
Nanga
I've already told you clearly the three major problems associated with Northern Ghana, which tend to make Northern Ghana look a problem, not an opportunity. And I had mentioned particularly the first one where the social modeling of Northern Ghana has been ignored or been negated by the Northerner himself. And I told you clearly again that that is because the Northerner doesn't see the importance of the North and himself. And I learned that it is the same with the Africans who go to the West. They say the main solution to it will have more to do with three things of one. Those of us, the Northerners, who have the opportunity to be heard and be expected to know and be expected to tell the people what they should do, should tell the people the truth and avoid the deception in perception we create in the minds of the people. What am I saying? Somebody has the opportunity to be sent to school or to be put in a higher political office or public office or social environment or the biggest cities of Accra. And he has the opportunity to travel and stay in Accra or Kumasi. Knowing the hustle and bustle, the terrors and horrors in Accra or Kumasi or wherever he has stayed, he will try to cover it. And because he has had a few nice or differently looking, I won't call them nice because I don't want to believe that a suit you bring in from Accra is better than the smoke the person uses in the village. But because the person comes home with a differently looking dressing coat, he creates in the minds and the impressions of the people that the North out there is hell. In fact, when he was in hell of hells. I can give you an example of, say, a Kayai or a truck pushing person sleeping in the gutters of Agogulisi or Konkoma market as we often call it, or any other place, Malata market or wherever, going home and pretending amongst the sisters who have never slept outside before and who have never gone hungry all day before, making it look like she had just come from heaven, when in fact she drinks from gutters in Accra. So and that is you and I, who have the opportunity to move out of the North and come here. So let our brothers out there know that it is not exactly necessary unless an assignment, an employment, an engagement, a very organized responsibility brings you into the city. You don't run into the big city and hawk around the street on the basis and the perception that the North is marginalized and has no jobs. I can tell you with honesty that any Northern brother up north who has finished secondary school or even HND or first degree and has not yet been employed, if he chooses to do an onion farm or a tomato farm, he's better off than coming to stay in Accra without a job for 6 months. He would tend to be a big problem even to himself. He will get up in the morning and sometimes he won't even get to bath, not to talk of using a deodorant. He walk past and everybody even thinks he has never even been to P1 before. And that is the reality we face in this country. Because those of us who have the opportunity to have come out, instead of us to go back and tell the truth as we were taught in school, when I reach home, I will tell my people about my journey, my worries and my sufferings, my worries and my sufferings. I will tell them all. And it goes on and on and on. We were taught that in school because we were expected to face and tell realities when we are facing them. But not to go around and pretend amongst the people and pull them into. And they do that because he now knows the ropes. So he will even extort the parents of that girl. Get me money and I will take her to heaven. He gets the money 3 times the lorry fare so that the 2 times become his business. So he will now come and get a kiosk at Agogolose. Out of money from the poor girl in the village he brought to put on the street. It's a huge issue undiscovered. And I think that it is something you and I who have had the opportunity to come this way to stop it.
How do you call that mentality?
It is a burger mentality, and I will explain why I link it to burger. Burger in our system and in our understanding is a person who has lived most of their life abroad, or who have had the opportunity to leave the soil of Africa and stayed out there. He comes looking changed in skin and fresh because of weather and the cosmetics they use out there. But in fact, the people he left and came back to meet are better than him in various ways. If you want, take for example the capital of Northern Ghana, which is Tamale. Mention 10 burgers from Tamale. If I say burgers, people who have stayed abroad, take the average ages of people in the age brackets of 40 and 60, who left the soil of Tamale those days within the past 30 and 20 years. And then look at their peers who also have stayed, and you take the top 10 successful bloggers from Tamale and take the top 10 successful indigenes, alagis, businessmen, or even literates who never stayed abroad for anything, and compare 1 to 1 who are more successful and who are evidently successful. Forget about that bugger perception of, London is this way, this is not done in Ghana, and look, this is not done in New York City, and this is not done in this. It is a bugger language, and it is a bugger mentality. And that brings me to the second part of it. They are plead with them to slow down, the local and the international buggers. The local buggers are those who go to the cities and go back and fool the villages. However, they have a reason and they have to try to cancel that reason. However, we, I repeat, should also see them. Everybody should try to apply logic anytime he listens to them and their talk. Let's don't get fooled along into those gutters. Everybody should have a personal vision. Everybody should see Northern Ghana and understand it the way it is. And mind you, if you cannot make it from home, you can't make it from anywhere. So do your best from home. Do with what you have at home. If business will have to bring you to the city, you come to the city with honor, but not living in the gutters. Don't get somebody to come and fool you, deceive your parents to sell their last cow or their last goat, and he uses it to come and look good in the city and put you in the gutters or on the streets of Accra or Kumasi. So that aspect, the solution is one, the people should slow down with the lies they peddle, and we should also discern and try to cross-check and recheck anything we are told before we jump at it, thinking that the city is gold. And let's take it easy with wanting what we want all times. You can finish school and you don't have a job. You can start from somewhere and go to the top. So that aspect of Northerners believing in themselves and in the North should start from we Northerners who are outside should preach good news for the North and stop deceiving people against the North. And we Northerners up North should know that we are one of the best, and where we are, we can produce and sell to the South and grow the North. That will be local foreign exchange. If there is anything like that in our economic terms. Because the cattle, the onions, the sheep and goat, the garden eggs, the tomato that comes from Burkina, Mali, Niger, could have come from Boko, Tamale, Wa, Bole, Bamboy, Bimbila Man is here as well, so I have to mention it, and all others. We don't have to wait till people have to change Ghana cedi to CFA to go and buy them and cross border to come. It degrades our own currency when we can empower it. Now the second one, the solution to the second one, I told you about the second one on the history, the rewriting of the history. That solution, I had involved a lot of people, including yourself. The history of Northern Ghana must be rewritten. And that is why, particularly Discovery TV, seek to discover Northern Ghana. Seek to discover means it is not like we are creating another Northern Ghana or we are bringing anything new to Northern Ghana. We are going to find out what is in Northern Ghana that people don't know and make people know about it. Though Discovery TV is not on air, the persons like you who share the vision of it are available and alive. And I am happy you are still following it. Discovery Forum is soon going to hit the ground. And the forum, you know, is investigative and research-based and entrepreneur development related. When I was mentioning projects, I didn't mention it, but it's the flagship of all my projects for Northern development. It will ensure and assure Northerners with discovering the opportunities and profiling and developing them to investment packages and ensuring a leadership in investing in the few the capital of Discovery Group can start with. And that will encourage and push others to competitively come in and invest. So the history rewriting must be a collective responsibility, but carried out individually by individual levels of contribution. If you do know an endowment, a development possibility, an investment opportunity in your village, in your community, you have the responsibility to communicate it to whoever and whichever system you can communicate it. People will invest when they see it is opportune. But if they don't know, or if it is not well explained to them, how will they invest? So those of us in the media, those of us in public offices, those of us who have the political voice, is all collectively our responsibility for Northerners and even non-Northerners alike. Why is it important to non-Northerners? Development of Northern Ghana is development to the whole of Ghana, because the national cake is one shared amongst all. Oil in Western region, the returns are beneficial to all Ghanaians. So if a non-Ghanaian, a non-Northern Ghanaian contributes to investment in a hugely opportune endowment area in Northern Ghana, it's to both his benefit and to the benefit of all Ghanaians. So that aspect is everybody's responsibility to try to rewrite the history of Northern Ghana. And that history will include the fact that Northern Ghana is not violent. And it is never and can never be violent than any other part of Ghana. There's nothing that has happened in Northern Ghana that has never happened in other parts of Ghana. Give me one example of one thing that happened in Northern Ghana that you think it has not happened in other parts of Ghana, and I will tell you. If it is about a chieftaincy class that a chief is killed or loses his life, it has happened in Asante, it has happened in Volta, it has happened in Brown Apple, everywhere. If it is about economic conflicts, it has happened everywhere. If it is about political classes, it has happened everywhere.
So Chief, the last solution that we go to.
So I will tell you that it is about the way we communicate it. Let's let all Ghanaians know that the North is an opportunity and the North has no any problem unique to Northern Ghana. And whatever we also say, and it links to Northern Ghana and the rest of Ghana, it is worse off in other African countries. We are happy to be doing well. Now the last solution. I already told you the last problem. And if I tell you the last problem is misplacement of priorities. And that is not peculiar to government or political party. It is directed to everybody. If I say misplacement of priorities, it's linked to the fact where I said the third problem has to do with armchair design of projects and programs for Northern Ghana,
Yeah.
which do not face the realities on the ground in implementation. That one is not a government issue. It is hugely a non-governmental issue. And that the not-for-government organizations, especially the non-profit organizations, or what we call NGOs, mostly, are parts of that problem. You know, and every Ghanaian who understands development in Ghana knows that the headquarters of NGOs in Ghana is Northern Ghana, particularly the northern capital of Tamale. But I had chats with a couple of them, and you do know that if they prioritize and link the programming to mainstream government agenda with their program to the natural resource and the people capacities and priorities and cultural systems, I am sure we would have gone a step further than where we are now. If you go to a place and know that their strength area, the comparative advantage area for that place is onion production, and you don't empower them particularly and especially to improve the onion production in the Bugri area, because there are only two types of onions in this country. We have the Galame onions and the Bugri onions. Interestingly, Bugri is my village, and that's where the first irrigation and pilot dam for onion production was done in Ghana. And that's why they call the Ghanaian onions Bugri onions when you go to onion market in Accra. Why wouldn't they empower the Bugri people enough to stop onions from coming from Galame in Niger? After all, the Bugri onions doesn't even constitute 5% of the onion consumption in the country. 90 to 95% of the onions is from Galame in Burkina, in Niger. And that onions, we change Ghana city to Sifa to bring it in. When Bugri people, and when I say Bugri, it constitutes the whole of South and beyond. If they are empowered to have produced onions to feed the whole of the country, we will improve our foreign exchange base. Bank of Ghana will not be struggling to improve the power of the cedi against the CFA, because we won't buy onions from there. If livestock will not be bought from there, and all those, then our cedi will gain huge respect against the CFA. So that is a holistic issue. However, government will not force people into farming. People must be ready to farm and farming, and government will see that they are in their areas. But you see, everybody who even finished GSS says farming is a punishment.
So, didn't have any shamsa humble and bagine to minute Dr. Mambi Jumoni, Yala Yala Sa ATV, so Yarla, Mr. Philip, Assibit Akpeena, Chairman Bala, who discovered groups of companies, Oyen Katia, Kana. It is on the Habrasuma, Zanti and Akida, Fatime Sama, and Tama and Gassep, Uncle Formalehu, a low charge who comes to her bank, me a shadows and none. That is a hard buy. Mluvinya 19 nation Kazan to it, or Shaka the one Yasam from Yella, then Sunday. I mal Abia Tankpanga, Bia Ya, Camina Binyara Shabin Kala Tool, Yampanga Kayan, Uncle Tun, Yampanga, Kabu Song, some city, Queen, Kala, Ayama, Karabanya, Legum Sanzan. Am I Tama, Nichante Pasha Moma, and Chat the Sama Blangarsi. Am I Nicha, Umbu to a blip. Kuzan chunk at Lankan at Lankol, Colfacachi, Tecumala Sahabe, chief, at the Malasahabe, Teba, Colfacachi, Tomauna, the Garcia, the Toshamin Bonam Bohania, Ayel Shakamzaha, Kayel did some Senate and Shamzaha, Tugumia. The Lampahaniel, I didn't know Shap, Bulakatin. I
told you already. Bulakatin in when you look at the first part of it, the issue is a two-way issue. And if one way fails, the second way should work out. If the people who are deceiving us, if we those in Accra here who go back to deceive the villagers will not stop deceiving the villagers should learn not to listen to us by seeing the realities. If the person comes to deceive you that I'm going to take you to Accra to live good, your father should sell cattle, goat and sheep. If you will not stop saying that, you and your father and everybody should stop giving them the cattle and sheep, because you would have seen that he has not come back to do something very significant except trying to look important and good and dress differently. So that is what you should do. And when it comes to say the area of rewriting the history, I've already told you, it's individual initiative. Everybody should contribute to rewriting the history. Wherever you are, present yourself a role model of goodness of the North. Present a business opportunity in your community as a role model of natural endowment from North. So that is a good way of doing it. Wherever you are, when you have little money to invest, invest some in the North as an example to show that the North is equally business opportune. And in the priority side, let's make sure that we stop looking for things from the cities when we don't have them at hand. Let's do with what we have at the village. We all started that way, and we came this far.
Mr. Philip, you let come to me. Zahanyala Bangunda, now Jatiza, who we are talking about Casamas and Tuma. Within Kunya, so comes a united to. So comes a higher sort of Gia Gulsozan, a Gamnanti Bay party at Tuakat. This is a contempt. I come Marishale, Kayina, but in the Billa Billa, no Queen Nankatza di Anfane. Kacho Yellow, which are Northern Ghana, Blabnyanga. I'm a little relation, can I bring Yella? Then attack us a little shower, then attack at little Lavnyanga. I'm a little being Kenya, then child lunch on to big Pansy, Betty to New Carpons, and San is a hack Pontemma, Catigina, I'm a beer Shan Canundle. Being a child uncle to Car 7 years and Queen on a proposal, no Queen and Cashabina to strong Tapsy, I'm a turn to some beer as I'm a politician, I take my long one. I'm a dog Yeshamza Habana, 80 years old. No love to talk to Massani, and board look Palanca yet try, and board a joke Kusali, and board not my Joya Semisil Jella, at Makusali Jella, Kalamna, Katakol Colvacate Sama because chief.
When the Mampo Yelsi, I am currently trying to re-emphasize my message in Kosal. Yami Bergoye to Kosasting ne Tudu More Nimbeda, Kamore Tess, Kamamore, Sielam, Bergo, Dene, Younger Sungut, Badene, Canibia Moraba Ligri Kenaquessen, Karnanga Songana, Kameson Kosating. Ama te Bergo More, oh, Manzoto one young and Yimalwa, but then no like Pia Patla. Shiba a young and Bena Sating a Kena and fat to Shiba, Katukushi to Badam Nigi, neighbor Bombora. Nzopa young and Ayumbe, she was resort to Gilgit Capinate Nura. Kalayanga, Kalab cannot Mr. Tartisity, Banam to Manami Negard, Tinamana Ben Yin, Kalisongo to men, Kagostano and Malsim, Kazinka Nob. So Tanama Pala Palsi Musa, Annie, Nitfa Gusum, Netanama Mat, Nirip, Yanye, Yaki Ankarana, Freyan Karasum, Befi Akan Summa. The Picard if you can't Karanatoma Abe, Kalamor for Canay for Tom. The Picard if you can't come out, Mother Uzo, Nasku, Kazo, Kenazo to give you any bag bed more Kiosam and Ankara if you Toma. Fiakun Gabu, Bazir Gabu Yid Galame, Kazi Tomanto seed Bukina Zisbergo, Nkenna. Tanam Yakun, Bakulenzili now. Timino Tonku is upon Ligard, but in my office number is Ligri. Ama to land there in Kazo can I be Ankara Morgan, yet about Toma. Fia singing in a coin and testing for San Lebedaka, and so Zisbergo, then I cannot. Fia singing a canker and Dam's kind of an a gut from a current Pogan. So I need this to glue. Kate Nkangemen, Kayal, Nduzian, Ngos for Yigan, then a bear, Yana from a Kunagabo, for not Goldnigi, for not Quaysan, for not Malbo, Kafaman will be. Kasong for Banner for my yin. Pangati Kenaba Fiati Toma of Tom. A mafia Ruzo, King Tempogun, Nkembenias of Tigiligit, Namsit, the Wosa, more than Namsit, I cannot take for Nefer Banner for my yin. So this minute means Sulu Kagosner and Inshim, Kabayan, Cascat, Siovanaka, need a young and Kana, Mbelga, take a Tabanam Kuz Nigi. Yet the Kem Nasa thing bear Nkus of a Bombora, you are more of a Ken Comasika of Kentum. Then a Mosa to Goose and Indiana. Tenam Paname, Nginema Rabala to Tentiment Sulu, Kaka, kalab yang ngerenda ka politics sene yang songote nit fa banga mi politics da kena ka ga da fa amat me mom songote me ka so na yang songote
to inte song te manga ka ti mon na wori na song te ba zo ron kunya Hamza hamba la yala so ti zangandel ma Mr. Philip Assibit Akpeena Group Chairman Discovery Groups of Company. Nta Discovery ni la pa Discovery ni la ma bio.
Ya Discovery ni la ma.
To ni radio station bi gula.
Zakana.
To na ambi na antu za ha nya bo wana la fi. To ada kunya Hamza mbona zana pi kapo ban kamza ha gbara zo modap so mo yala sa ha ban pang gbara sa ha pa ma ka sa ha tabro so na ku nan ka no dan gana. Be gana za ha na mai kala chang tu zo sa ku su me na one te pa ma su na on te ba ku nan kamza ha song ka bin yara bi bin shakam sa kala changvenya nanga mbona zanpi ka puhe mirenda aprofi intaha producer ambala una poso nya cameraman intaha ndo achambala unya Shaim Ibrahim intaha mbona puhe za ha nang banyine ne makambi MCR ma za ha puhe ATV zuombo yala sa ibile mbona Hamza Lansah Lolly yala manda shi zo wanda